my channel. I'm going to show you how I refresh my curls today using my Shark FlexStyle. I showed you in my video before. You can go check it out. I'll link it right here. How I get my original blowout. I had somebody ask and I figured it's the perfect video. How I refresh it because I don't use any heat. If anything, I do cheat if I'm in a hurry and my bangs aren't cooperating and I use a little bit of heat like a flat iron my bangs. Typically, I'll just use this and a brush or the actual brush attachment in my bangs or one of these and I can get them fixed up really quick. Let's freshen up my curls together. It's really fast. I'll share some tips and tricks along the way, all my little things, so let's go. First things first, I'm the realist. I'm the realist. No, first things first is hair care always. Now, we do have heat protectant, volumizing products, and leave-in conditioners in my hair from my original blowout. I don't have a full video on all the products I exactly use because I've told you this before. Everyone's hair is so different. We're all gonna wanna use different products, but I have pretty dry hair, so I typically end up adding oil in even after I've washed it on dry hair. So you see me doing that here. I accidentally got a little bit too much, which is not normally the occasion for me. I start small and then add more because oil is something that can ruin your curls, so be really careful with it. If you have oily hair, you're gonna want a texturizer, a dry shampoo. There's definitely products made for everyone's hair. So I have thick, wavy, dry hair. So here I am starting at the ends. Make sure you always start at the ends or else you're breaking off your hair from where it's at. The reason I like to use my Shark is because I do have that naturally wavy hair. Sometimes when I work out or I take a shower, my bangs at the base get a little curly. So being able to use this blow dryer to style my hair is literally my favorite thing ever because I've said this before, you can do it on wet or dry hair. That's literally life-changing. It saves me so much time. You don't have to blow dry your hair and then do it. You can use the curling rods, like the little these pieces you're gonna see in a second. You can use these on wet or dry hair. Now, wet hair, it would take you hours to use. So you wanna have your hair mostly dry before you do it, which is what the other attachments are for. Now, I am new to the bang game, so I will say if you're looking for a perfect bang styling video, this one's gonna be good for beginners, but we're not perfecting it yet. We're just working on it and I'm figuring it out. I can do a video later because I definitely have since this video gotten much better already, but I do have a calic on one side that I have to deal with. Anyways, back to the hair care because that's really important and we can talk about this blow drying in a second. I gotta work on my bangs. Hair care for me, I need more oil because my ends get pretty crusty and dry. So this is day 3 or 4. This is day 4 hair. So the curls lasted me 3 days and this is the 4th day. Now, I showed you in my original video that I did a blowout towards my face. Today we're doing a blowout away from my face and the ends were mostly what was dry. I start with the oil, work it through, and then you saw me brush. Since my hair is dry, I don't want to brush it before because it's going to break it. If you naturally have really oily hair, you can use the brush and brush your natural oils down, but also a dry shampoo is going to be your good friend because if you have too much oil and weight at the root, it's going to be heavy and lay flat and like lay down. Some people don't like volume. If you don't like volume, then you're not going to want to do your curls the way I do it this way. So I start at the top and I kind of section off smaller pieces because the smaller the piece, the quicker the curl goes. I'm going to call it a rod, but it's a blow dryer. If you change the way that the rod is holding, you can see the direction of the curl up top gives you different volume. So okay, I'm back. Sorry, Bones kept barking as I'm trying to record this voiceover, so if I was a little distracted at first, that's why. But we're back and I'm focused. Now, like I've said, how you hold the rod is very important. If you haven't watched the first video, I definitely would recommend that because I give you like literally beginner, you just got your hair dryer, things I wish I would have known because it is a little frustrating at first. If you see here in the video, sometimes I accidentally put the rod the wrong way. You have 2 separate rods. You have a right side and a left side. I know Dyson has one that switches back and forth or something. I don't really care. I don't care about Dyson. It's too expensive. It's not in my price range and it's not what we're talking about. Also, side note, I hated my Dyson vacuum, so I didn't even trust. Anywho, I now have one that I literally just ordered with a cord. It's so much better. But we're not talking about vacuums here. We're talking about my fabulous blow dryer that I love. And I literally can't even believe it. It's been over a year since I've had this bad boy and it just keeps getting better and better. So today I wanted to do more of a calm, like less of a Hollywood glam. That's why I did the away the face blowout. I hold the cool button. Sometimes the ends, I will say on day 2 hair is like a little bit harder to curl for me. So I focus on that and then I set the cool button and then I wrap my hand around it and I move it up. You can use it like a curling iron where you simply wrap the hair around it, or you can use it like a blow dryer where you go and go back and forth, and the movement is what's going to hold the curl. The movement kind of makes them a little bit more bigger and bouncier and more voluminous. When you wrap it around, it kind of makes it a little more sleek, like a Hollywood curl. You can hold the rod upwards or downwards. Now, it just depends on if the air is blowing towards your face or away your face, which way it's going to go. But I will say, I personally like it when I use the side pointing down. So this one is going away from my face and it's pointing down. When I go to the other side, I could technically just flip my blow dryer the other way, but I'm going to swap the heads because you'll see here, I want it to be flat, like by my ear where my face is, I got it flat, but then I have the curl going because you kind of want to mess with, if you do a curl and it's poking out of the top of your head, re-curl it. There's really no harm. And if it's really hot, try and go down in your heat setting. There's 3 heat settings, 3 speed settings. I always have on this the highest speed setting because it does help it go faster and harder. If you do one single setting, I would assume you maybe have finer hair, if that might be a need, but I'm not really sure why you wouldn't want to just do it faster with less heat. I will say if you're in a hurry, you can turn the heat all the way up and get it done way quicker, but just take your time, and do keep in mind this video is edited and sped up because I didn't want to make you watch me do every single one, so I do speed them up a little bit. We can talk about the details of how I do it too. So I split it in the back of my head so that I have one right side and one left side to kind of work off of, and then I didn't this time separate it because I kind of wanted to see what they look like just naturally, because since it's already been curled, you don't have to re-curl every piece. You just have to re-curl the pieces until it looks presentable in the way you like it. So I grab these top layers, I start there, and then I work my way towards the bottom. I do curl my top way more than my bottom because I like to have length. If you want to have super curly hair, curl them all evenly. By that, I mean I don't curl the bottom pieces from the root to the tip. I just curl the tips. Mostly. It's kind of like the opposite of a Utah Mormon curl. When I was bleach blonde, I would just curl the tops and then leave the bottoms kind of straight for length because I didn't want my super bleached dry hair going crusty. Anyways, now we're on to the other side and onto the bangs. You saw me switch sides so that I could flip it and do the other one going downwards. If you do hold it, you can technically do this one the other way. It just creates more of like this flat curl that I don't like, less of like a curling iron curl. If you're having that problem, try flipping your Shark upside down, because I know it sounds crazy to say that one side does, but it really does create different curls. I hope you know what I'm saying. So like one rod can create different curls on each side, but I prefer when I do it this way, flipped upside down. Now I do focus on the ends, making sure they're curly if it's what I'm struggling with, but you can see here, let's imagine you had really long hair. I have layers too. I don't know if you guys know that, you can tell or whatever, but I also have layers including with my bangs. So that's what helps my curls be super extra bouncy, because she almost did me like a curly haircut where I have these lovely layers at the top that I can get super bouncy, and then I keep my length at the bottom. But with that, I love when I go to the back and I kind of mix them. So I did split it perfectly in the center, and you'll see me meet up. But then I go in the back and I kind of go left, right, and mix it up. They're not just all going one way, because I don't like it when the curls, like 2 waves meet in the middle. I want it to just look like a blended ocean. I hope this is making sense. I'm just trying to describe what happens in my brain, and there's a lot going on in here. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe, like, it helps me out a lot. I'm so happy you're here. But let's keep curling because I literally love this hairstyle. Now, if you were to switch it and go towards your face, like I said, it's that Hollywood glam. This is like more my casual curl. So it's still put together and fancy, and it really only took me, I think, 30 minutes from start to finish with filming and everything, which maybe not even 30. I think it was like 26. So boom. If that's a long time for you, maybe you have less hair, maybe it'll take you less time, maybe you won't be showing off a camera and getting all the angles and this, that, and the other. But I know some of you mentioned that you have problems with it lasting. I'll give you some of my little long lasting tips about how we got here. I do think the products you put when you first originally blow dry it make a huge difference. So keep your eyes open and subscribe. That will be my next video. I'll show you every product I use in my hair, and I'll try and maybe even give some recommendations for other people's hair. So if you have a certain hair type you want ideas for, leave it below and I can help you. But for long lasting powers, you can always use a hairspray at the very, very end. I don't like putting heat on hairspray, so once I hairspray something, I typically try and wear that until I wash it, because I just think there's something about the alcohol, or maybe it's just the hairsprays I have. I do not recommend hairspraying and then putting heat on it. You can, no one's ever told me that. This is just like my personal, what I do and do not do with my hair. So I will say if I'm hairspraying it, it's typically like a big, large event or a full day or something, and then I'm just gonna let my hair wear out until I wash it. Now, if you have really specific needs and you want to hairspray your hair, please do. I hairspray my bangs, and I found that helps them last a lot. And I will say I have happened to use my blow dryer brush on the dry hair after the hairspray. It didn't smoke, it didn't steam, and they're still there, but I am nervous doing it. So I do have to give you that heads up. I will say hairspray makes my hair last forever, and I just think it's the way that my hair is, like my natural texture. So if you don't have a texture in your hair, add some sort of a texture spray. And then when you're done curling it, I said this in my original video, never touch your hair while it's warm or even hot at all. okay? If you want it to last, you can do like I did before, where you drop the curl in your hand and you hold it touching against your head until it is cool to the touch, and then you let go. Or you can use the little alligator flat clips here. You can pin the curls up. You can also use the Velcro curlers. On my first day, I love to use a Velcro curler in my bangs so that I can achieve that really high volume, and it keeps the bangs off my head while I do my hair and my makeup, but it just gives them this lovely curl to it. Now, I will say when I use Velcro curlers, I do find a few hairs ripped out, so this is not something I want to use every day. But if I have a big wedding or something fun, I am going to curl my hair and then wrap them in the Velcro curlers, let them cool moments before you're gonna go, so you still have enough time to touch up any curls you need to. Pull out the Velcro curlers and then rock it, and that's how I would do it. But this is just like a regular, I'm pretty sure this was like a Thursday, doing my hair, touching it up because the curls had kind of died down. Now, the fun part about this is you can just wear super loose curls. My hair is naturally wavy, so this is like a totally different texture than my natural hair, so it's a fun style. You also have the brushes, so if you wake up and you have crazy calyx on the back of your head or something, you can wet your hair and then use a brush. But I will say, this Olaplex oil you saw me put in the beginning is a heat protector. Even the Trader Joe's one that I showed you, which I'm actually starting to fall in love with that. It smells like vanilla. I can't get it every time I'm at Trader Joe's. I even gave my mom one. It has heat protectant in it. It has a bunch of good ingredients, and it seems to work really well. I haven't used it for a long time, so I can't tell you if it's gonna work forever, right? But I've been using Olaplex for years and years, and it has seriously saved my hair. I have noticed that if you want it to go super fast, just section your hair and do a super small piece, and it will go a lot faster. When I do the big chunks, it does create bigger, bouncier curl, but it takes a few seconds, probably like a minute longer each curl to set and actually hold. So when you just do a bunch of small ones, they end up setting. If you flip your hair over like I love to do, it helps add volume back in, but I feel like it separates the curls without brushing them out and touching it. And if you ever find a piece that you don't like the way it's curled, don't be afraid to go back in. Your bangs aren't cooperating and you don't want to use this little curly piece, I love to go in with the little brushes, or you can even use the spout, like the directed sprayer, and then just a brush. Or if you have a round brush, I need to get a round brush, and I still haven't bought my travel comb. And remember, no touching while it's hot or even warm at all. Curling iron, blow dryer, whatever you're using. Flip your hair upside down once it is fully cool. And heat protectant, heat protectant, heat protectant. If you want to keep your hair, use a heat protectant when you blow dry it. Make sure you have a heat protectant on it when you're putting any heat on it. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a ton. If you want more videos, hair-related, vlog, beauty tips, anything involving me, make sure to give it a follow, a like, and a subscribe. I'll be posting more videos. Next week, it's going to be my hair care products. I had someone comment and ask that, so make sure to follow along. I'll see you next week. Love you. If you like this type of like and subscribe, I post new videos every week.